The NFL on CBS continues from historic Lambeau Field. It's the Raiders and the Packers coming up next, with the Packers all-time start at 12-0. They've already won the NFC North Division, winners of 18 straight going back to last year, while the Raiders share the West lead with the Denver Broncos. And hello, friends, Jim Nantz along with Phil Simms here in Green Bay, and we're talking record territory here for the Packers. Everybody wants to know about the Raiders and their chances here today.
Well, I know this. The Raiders, they like their chances. They're very enthusiastic. They're motivated. Why? Because they're playing the defending Super Bowl champions, and they're undefeated. They want to be the team that ruins the season for the Packers.
Well, the weather, it's been a mild day, really, by December standards here. It's in the 40s. There have been some significant breezes, though, Phil, that you think may play an impact here today.
Well, I think it's strong enough where it could impact field goal kickers. I don't know if it's going to bother the quarterbacks, Jim. Watching them warm up with the breeze or the wind, it didn't seem to bother either starting quarterback.
Raiders won the toss. They want the football, and that is McCann waiting for the kick from Crosby. And not even a thought about that one going anywhere but through the end zone. So out to the 20 for Carson Palmer, and his 6th start as a Raider quarterback. He's 3-2. He won a game here 2 years ago, week 2 for the Bengals against Green Bay. Loves playing here. Here's his line. Baldier, his 2nd year left tackle out of Hillsdale College. And Michael Bush again will handle the running back position with Darren McFadden inactive. That foot injury lingers. They're also without Ford and Moore again. So they have a big part of their offensive weaponry out again today, but meeting with them yesterday, they felt some optimism they could play here and give the Packers a go. On first down, it's Bush. And he plows ahead for 3 into the arms of DJ Smith. Dom Capers defense and the Green Bay Packers. Includes Green up front. And Matthews coming off an interception last week for the 2nd straight week, and he ran that one back for a touchdown. And there's Woodson, the former Raider, came into the league drafted by Oakland with the 4th overall pick back in 1998. Here's Bush, and he is wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage by Eric Walden for no gain.
Well, Jim, let's talk about this Raider offense. Something I've noticed, look at the vertical passing game down the field. Carson Palmer getting in shape, and his arm is getting in shape too. Look at the top of the screen, drills it in between the safety and the corner. They would like to have some of those throws here today.
Coach Hugh Jackson in his first year, he was the coordinator last year for Tom Cable, offensive coordinator. 7-5 here as the head coach, again tied for the league in the lead in the AFC West. Let's see Palmer's arm here for the first time today as he flings it, and the ball is caught. Beautiful catch by Chaz Schillens, who comes off a 6-catch performance against Miami last week. Gain of 14.
Well, Chaz Schillens, slot receiver, going to come down and break out. He is going against Charles Woodson, and that was a good job. He didn't give Charles Woodson a chance to do anything but watch him make the cut. Carson Palmer, a little pressure up inside and to the outside by Clay Matthews. Raiders, tough job, or not a good job last week protecting inside against the blitz.
Michael Bush really helped protect the quarterback, picked up the blitz. There's a flag down as there's an open man, and it's Hayward Bay with the catch on the Green Bay side of the field. Pete Morelli and crew on hand here. And let's see if that 16-yard pass play holds up. Looks like they picked up the flag. There's Pete Morelli signaling first down, so they do. They pick up the flag, and the Raiders have advanced it now to the Green Bay side of the field.
Number 69 is reporting as eligible. 69.
And that is Barnes reporting as an eligible receiver. As you saw, Morelli want to pass along our best to Tony Corrente. Great referee in the league, under the weather right now. We send our best to Tony. 1st and 10, and Bush has about 5 with that run. Let's get a little update. James Brown in New York.
Closing seconds, Saints and Titans.
Jay Clocker brings his team back with a chance to win with no time left on the clock. He rolls out to his right. Young quarterback got to finally just throw it up. He doesn't. Game over. Saints win 22-17.
Titans loss helps Houston secure its first ever playoff spot. They are in the postseason, first time ever. Jim Nance, Bill Sims.
All right, guys, and they had a similar type situation. They had T.J. Yates find the end zone at the end of their win as Palmer is picked off. Palmer has his pass intercepted by Smith. He had a Packer draped all over him. Clay Matthews creating problems. And the Packers come up with the interception. First career interception for D.J. Smith, the rookie drafted in the 6th round out of Appalachian State, caused by Matthews' pressure on the quarterback. And Aaron Rodgers and the Packers now with their first snap from the 48. And a flag drawn right away as Rodgers flings it down the field and intended for Jennings.
Aaron Rodgers offsides. He goes deep immediately.
Offside. Defense, number 99, 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Jim, let's look at why the interception. Clay Matthews gets around Kevin Boss, goes inside, and still makes the play outside. Carson Palmer, when you get pressure like that, you get a little disoriented as a quarterback. He throws in the middle of about 4 Green Bay Packers, but he does go over and make the tackle on D.J. Smith. But pressure on the quarterback, hitting the quarterback, that's all Green Bay talked about this week.
That risk-reward pass defense of the Packers, their league-leading 24th pick of the season. 6 more than anyone else in the league as they go to Grant. Grant has running room. Grant inside the 30. Grant inside the 10, and he's got the touchdown. Ryan Grant had not had a run of 10 yards or longer since September. And he takes it here 47 yards. And the score.
Left side of the offensive line, T.J. Lang gets a good block. And Marshall Newhouse, that's what springs him. And Ryan Grant saw him on Friday, talked about, wow, I'm finally healthy again. The legs, everything in place. It showed. He looked fresh and fast for the touchdown.
And it's his first touchdown of the season. It had been 67 rushes since he had a carry that went for 10 yards. Longest run of the year, in fact, by the Packers. He gallops to the end zone. 7-0. They take advantage off the interception.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Autotrader.com. Now compare new and used cars side by side at Autotrader.com. And by Acura. Acura Advance.
We're back in Green Bay. Ryan Grant with his longest run since 2009. He had a huge game against the Raiders the last time he played them. That's going back 4 years ago, had 156 yards, a career high. So his first carry is a huge burst to the end zone.
Well, Jim, on this long touchdown run, a couple things. T.J. Lang does a good job getting the block. That's one. Watch McClain unblocked. But in the move by Ryan Grant, here's the move. The little fake inside, that makes McClain go inside. And that breakout. And then look at the blocking on the corner. Jordy Nelson on Lito Shepherd. That's what you need. Talent from the running back, blocking down the field to get those long runs for touchdowns.
So the Raiders from the 20 with Bush. Takes a big wallop, but picks up 5. The last time, in fact, the Packers as a team had a rush that went for 20 yards. Just a couple of days, if you will. And the rush touchdown over 20 yards after Christmas of 09, and it was Ryan Grant.
Well, that Ryan Grant run there, it reminded me what I saw from him 2 years ago when he had a good solid year. When he took the handoffs, he made one move, and it was full steam ahead. Very decisive in his decision, how he made it work.
2nd down and 5. Palmer. Bay drops what probably would have been a 1st down.
The Oakland Raiders, we can't let them run because we got to eliminate one part of the game. Here's what it looks like from the ground on the outside. How about that block by Jordy Nelson one time? Again, hey, great football teams do all the little things, Jim. And wide receivers blocking for the running backs, that's a big part of the game. Raiders were hoping to shorten the game today. I don't think they meant by giving up quick scores.
And it might be a short series if they don't pick up 5 right here on 3rd down. They got the first. It's Murphy. And Lewis Murphy's out to the 41, wide open in the middle of the field.
This Green Bay defense not afraid to take chances, that's for sure. And here they are. Watch the blitzers come up inside. I told you the Raiders had trouble with it last week. Good job by Michael Bush picking up that blitz. And that's one of the reasons why you see Carson Palmer in the shotgun maybe more today, so they can pick up those inside blitzers.
They've got the end around going, and that's Reese. And that's near another 1st. Maybe about a foot short. Got a sports fan on your list? CBSSports.com shop has officially licensed NFL gear and 3-day shipping on every order at shop.cbssports.com. So once again, the Raiders take it just a little bit past the midfield mark onto the Green Bay side. And Bush gets the yardage for the 1st. And again, as I mentioned at the starting lineups, without McFadden today, McFadden and Palmer have never been on the field at the same time, not even in practice.
Well, you got the other 2 receivers. They are a big part of this offense. They caught, of course, passes. They ran reverses. But the big one, Darren McFadden, that's like building one of those, Lego units. You build it up and then pulling a peg, Jim, right out of the middle. And when you do that, what happens? It all falls and crumbles. And Darren McFadden, he was the most important player, I think, on the Raiders football team.
By the way, they think all 3 might be back next week. On 1st down, they've got the screen to Reese. They've got a flag down in the backfield as Reese is steps out of bounds near the 37. Pushed down by Woodson.
Number 68 offense. 10-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Yeah, again, they think they're going to have all of them back in this stretch run in that battle for the AFC West.
Well, that's a good thought, but I keep seeing every week, oh, this could be the week for Darren McFadden.
That's the thing, yeah.
When you talk about that foot injury, the Liz Frank, it's the ligament in the foot. It's a big thing, especially when you're talking about a running back or receivers, Jim. They got to make those sudden cuts, a lot of pressure on the feet. And we saw Darren McFadden live this year against the Jets. I walked away and said, that's the best running back in football.
Yeah, that was week 3 as they beat the Jets in that one. And another flag down. The Raiders are the most penalized team in the league.
Number 69 offense, 5-yard penalty.
And we're seeing it early.
I'll go back to the screenplay that worked for the Raiders. Clay Matthews was held. And I would think every time you play the Raiders, the Green Bay Packers, you go, okay, Clay Matthews, we got it. But you get here, you play against him live, and you go, man, he is fast, and it is full speed the whole game. His endurance kind of reminds you of Jerry Rice. Never slows down from the opening kickoff to the end of the game.
On 1st and 25 now. And that down goes nowhere. No gain for Bush. And again, it's Smithen on the play, and along with Matthews.
They talk about this Green Bay defense. They do give up a lot of yards. Dom Capers, the defensive coordinator. When you say, okay, what's the biggest problem? My opinion is the corners are gambling too much for the Packers. And when they gamble, they are giving up some big pass plays.
2nd and 25. The Raiders go screen incomplete. Over the head of Bush, and it was well guarded anyway.
I think Carson Palmer said it best, facing this Green Bay defense. He goes, the heck, I don't care about the numbers. They're 31st in yards allowed, but they're 17th in scoring, which says something there. You can move it sometimes, hard to score, but if they don't gamble against you, it's hard to march the ball down the field and score a lot because of the athletes they have on the defensive side.
Yeah, he said, forget those numbers, forget the rankings.
They got some guys that are willing, well, maybe definitely too much. They take a lot of chances.
Palmer's pass, incomplete. Would have been good for about 14. Hayward Bay tried to make the play on it.
Well, just a incredibly uneven start for this Raiders offense. You know, a little panicked, letting the crowd, everything else distract them. Holding calls, and of course the bad interception by Carson Palmer.
And the remarkable Shane Leckler is into punting. He had an 80-yarder last week, longest in the league.
Be alert if you're in row 30.
And he didn't catch this one. He's going to get a good rollout though. And it stops at the 20, 43 yards. So the Raiders have snapped it 14 times. One play for the Packers, and Green Bay leads it 7-0. Lambeau Field sold out for the 299th consecutive time. It'll be 300 on Christmas night when they host the Bears. And here they are from the 20. Officially their second snap of the game. Rodgers is hit from behind when he threw it incomplete. He got hit by Wembley. Aaron Rodgers, though, this season, one of the great ones any quarterback's ever put up in the annals of the league. You look at some of the records that are in range, it's pretty amazing. Just about everyone could fall. His line shapes up like this, including Dietrich Smith starting at right guard. Sitton is out with a knee. And Jennings, if he catches a touchdown today, it'll be his 50th career. Second down at 10, and we've got a flag. Raiders may have dropped again, and it's an incomplete pass across the middle for Jennings, who wanted his own flag thrown.
Good snap count.
Offside, number 93 defense, 5-yard penalty remains, second down.
Chuck Bresnahan's defense. The Raiders looking like this. They've already had 4 penalties. The Raiders as a team, 3 pre-snaps. There's Seymour. He liked this matchup today. Thought about the line on line could be favorable. Curry coming over to trade the former 4th overall pick. And Shepard starts for Chris Johnson, who's inactive. Johnson and that tragically his sister killed in a shooting down in Texas this week. He came here but was inactive for the game here today. As Grant is stopped for only a 1-yard gain. Set up third and about 4. That's Lamar Houston on the tackle.
Well, I think when you look at this Raider defense today, what do they want to do? A lot of things. But the biggest to me is make Aaron Rodgers stay in the pocket to throw the football to beat you. Of course he can, but when you let him move, it's almost a disaster for every defense he plays against.
So Rodgers steps up and flings it to Jordy Nelson, and Nelson slices through the secondary and steps out at the 40.
Look at the gap that Aaron Rodgers had in front of him. It's wide open. He almost thought about running, but he steps up in, and Jordy Nelson gets that second look. You got some guys chasing players, some playing zone, so it's not a coordinated defense here. Watch Aaron Rodgers. Nobody in his line of sight. Steps up in, and he is unbelievable when it comes to throwing the football on the move.
That was for 31. And again, the Raiders.
Offsides.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 24 defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Wednesday, the Survivor finale week kicks off with everyone rooting against Ozzy. But is this happy tribe falling apart? You'll find out. New Survivor Wednesday, season finale next Sunday, only CBS. So 1st and 5. It was off of 1st and 5. They gave it to Grant. He took it 47 yards for a touchdown. Little fake. Little toss down the field to Jennings. And there is an incomplete pass. Looked like for a minute he might have it. Branch may have gotten a hand on it.
Well, he did. Tyvon Branch. Chuck Bresnahan talking about him, how well he plays. Nice job looking for the football, sticking his arm between the hands of the receiver, and Aaron Rodgers probably saying, should have thrown a little harder.
Now 2nd and 5 from the Oakland 37. Rolling out and chased by Mitchell and flings it sideline out of bounds.
Tried to save it.
Well, that's interesting too. When Aaron Rodgers pump fakes, don't jump. Keep running at him. Everybody jumps. He gets 2nd and 3rd chances to throw the football. Now, Jim, I know it's early. Well, let's watch Aaron Rodgers. He gets out of the pocket. Those little moves with his hands, I don't even think he knows he does it. I counted about 40 of them against the New York Giants in their game last week.
That's a new stat you're keeping.
I love stats.
You don't miss anything. 3rd down and 5.
Including Mills.
He's got the 1st down with Jones. James Jones. Good for 8.
Yeah, it's interesting, Jim. Watch the defenders are all up there. Aaron Rodgers is going, you're not going to blitz. Look at that extra time. Wants to look down the field, but good discipline, throws it short. People are afraid to blitz the Green Bay Packers. I don't blame them.
New set of downs at the 29.
Going with this no huddle.
Now rolling out and throwing it. Incomplete. Driver trying to jump up and bring it down.
Outside the pocket once again. Throw is a little high, but the one thing it doesn't lack is speed. Donald Driver took his eyes off of it, trying to find out where the defender was. That little bit. You see his head move causes the drop.
Sends Jennings to the right. Nelson to the left. Nelson scored a touchdown in every home game this year. On 2nd down and 10. And underneath they go to Jennings for a 1st down.
Well, there's a blitz. But Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers ready for it. It's going to come from this side. Here it comes. That's Branch. The receiver changes his route. Jennings gets a 2 or 3 yard catch and turns it into a 1st down.
It turns it into 12 yards.
This hurry-up offense, our director, Mike Arnold, said to Mike McCarthy, will we see a hurry-up offense? He goes, you better tape your ankles before the game. So I think that answered that question.
Fasten the seatbelt.
Here we go.
Looks right, goes left. Grant, good catch. Grant somersaults to the 4-yard line. Tripped up by Shepard. This one's good for 13, and it's 1st and goal to go.
Watch Aaron Rodgers. He looks right. The receiver, Donald Driver's wide open, but he turns and says, nah, I want to throw it to the other side on the swing. They do a lot of that. They look to the right. The receiver, if he doesn't like it, he turns and throws all the way to the other side of the field.
4 tight ends in the game at once. Nelson lined up to the left. Rodgers looked his way, then throws across the middle. He's got the touchdown. It's Ryan Taylor with his 1st career catch. And it's good for a touchdown.
Boy, it's just a universal play. Ryan Taylor goes in the middle. A receiver goes in. A receiver goes out. Ryan Taylor goes right in the middle. The Raiders not ready for it. You see that formation every week. You got to make a call. You got to be ready for them to spread just like that and defend it.
$14-0. First quarter.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Honda Odyssey, like no van before. And by Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side.
Aerial coverage provided by MetLife.
I was just wondering as I watch these Lambeau leaps, you think you could do that, Jim?
I know I can. And I'll show it to you the next time we're here.
I'm honored.
McCann gets outside and gets shoved out of bounds by Shields. How about that? Your first career catch turns into a touchdown, and it's in your DNA. You know what to do with it. Time for the Lambeau leap. First time.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Well, we're back here in Green Bay, where the Packers have gotten the first touchdown of the season by Ryan Grant. First touchdown of a career by Ryan Taylor. Gives him now 18 different players to score touchdowns this year. That's Boss with the catch. And good for 13 yards and a touchdown. By the way, we're showing the Lambeau leap going to break. Do you know they actually can trace it back? The first one ever, Lambeau leap that is, was right here in a game against the Raiders. It was Leroy Butler returning the fumble, jumping into the crowd.
Wow.
The first ever Lambeau leap was the Packers against the Raiders back in December of '93.
I just want to tell you, that wall's a lot higher than everybody thinks. So we got time at halftime. I want to see you try it.
Yeah, okay. And that is Bush for about 3 yards. Well, Michael Bush has had a couple of games where he went over 100 this year. Missed out a couple of other times by just, 1 yard and 4 yards. He's had some big performances.
Well, I think you got to like what he's done. For the Raiders to have your backup running back, Jim, to come in and have the production he has had. He's big and strong. And, I think he's trying to prove to everybody he can be the go-to back on a football team.
Ishmanzada's in the game, Palmer's former teammate at Cincinnati, and that was intended for TJ. Incomplete.
They'll go back to Michael Bush, high school quarterback in Louisville. I mean, he was talked about a lot, wanted to go to the University of Louisville and play quarterback, but they had an ex-Packer there going in with him, Brian Brom.
Yep.
So, but
he had that devastating fractured leg his senior year. Everybody had him forecast as a first rounder. He ended up being the first pick of the second day of the draft, 4th round.
Well, it was a good pick for the Raiders, and you're right. If he doesn't suffer the leg injury his senior year, he will absolutely been a first-round draft pick.
Timeout called by Oakland. Raiders facing a 3rd down, 3rd and 7. 14-0 Packers. So we're back here with the Raiders coming out of a timeout. And 3rd and 7 on the way. Packers blitzing. Palmer flings it, and the ball is incomplete. And Hayward Bay had his hands on it, but Shields stripped it.
Really interesting to watch the blitz. Charles Woodson was covering somebody. He switches positions with Bush and says, let me blitz. Carson Palmer on the money again. The one thing these Raider receivers have not done well, catching the football in traffic. That should have been a completion for the first down.
Hayward Bay's had a couple of drops here in the first quarter. Palmer was enthusiastic about the chemistry he's developing with Hayward Bay. Leckler this time sends it down to the 15. Cobb escapes the first hit, swings it wide, and it's finally finished off at the 25. 50-yard punt. Tomorrow on CBS, there's no better way to celebrate the holidays than a wedding. Hawaiian style. Don't miss a festive new Hawaii 5-0 tomorrow. Only CBS. is Hayward Bay, and as I mentioned, he's dropped actually 3 today. But Carson was talking about how he's starting to now develop, he feels like, something that's going to be special down the line with that third-year receiver.
Well, there's no question. Hayward Bay, big improvement this year. You can see it when you watch him play, learning to run routes.
Good effort here by Jones to break the tackle. He got away from Stanford route and takes it for 21.
Easy for me to say up here, but here's a problem. Top of the screen. It's a downfield throw. Throw it to the check down, but going way too high. You see so many missed tackles in the NFL now because the aiming point is always up near the shoulders.
A great example of it right there as Grant gets a running start, and he's got another nice run of +10. Showing some explosion today. That's good for 12, and you did say just minutes before we came on the air, you said, I think Ryan Grant's going to have a big day today.
I could tell, body language says a lot. Watching him run in practice, he was taking every carry, going 20 yards. We saw him smiling after practice was over, and just the way he talked to us, that, he's feeling good and confident that he would have some chances to have success today.
Sane is the running back right now.
Hey, easy.
Rookie free agent out of Ohio State who's been seeing action with Starks inactive with an ankle.
319.
That's Sane. Comes right into the arms of McClain, who flings him down after 8.
Man, that was hard running by Sane there. They like this guy from Ohio State. You said it, Jim. A rookie, and he knows I want to keep carrying the football, so put both hands on it when you're inside the tackles. That's excellent. Good block on the left side by Newhouse.
Hey, gun.
Disappointed last week on the aggressiveness of the offensive line, the coaches were. Good start for him today.
Second down and 3. That's Cobb. Slips away from 2 Raiders and is down at the 15. Boy, some nifty moves, and he got away from Curry and Shepard and gains 19.
Well, it just shows you what arm strength does. He gets it to Aaron Rodgers, gets it there so quick, right on the mark. He wants to go downfield almost every throw, but says, nope, that is truly the outlet receiver. Those short routes to the outside, they sit there and wait. He fires it into it, and they can make the moves to get it done.
Seconds to go here in the first quarter.
Green Bay's numbers, 176 here in the first quarter.
They go screen. They've got Finley. And Curry with a flag down. Holds him to a 3-yard gain.
That was an excellent job by Curry. That was set up for a much better result than the Packers got. Curry ruined it.
Murphy and Hayward Bay.
Clipping, number 62 offense, 15-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
That ends the first quarter. Green Bay 14, Oakland nothing. We'll return after these messages. And you're watching the NFL on CBS. Well, no surprise, the Packers are the most dominant first quarter team, first half team, winners of 18 straight. We start the second quarter. Jim Nance, Phil Simms on site here as the Raiders, maybe it was Houston across first.
Neutral zone infraction, number 99, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It's the third time now. It's going to be a 1st and 5 situation. I mean, what an advantage to even more to give Aaron Rodgers to work off of.
Aaron Rodgers, he needs help.
Yeah.
So, let's give it to him.
How about Coach Cowher in the pregame in the NFL today saying he thought this was maybe arguably the greatest team ever. And just sit back and says enjoy it. He says this is record stuff. Yeah. This is excellence. I said 1st and 5. There had been, of course, that clipping penalty, so strike that. The 5 yards makes it 1st and 20. That clipping play at the end of the first quarter.
You know, Coach Cowher hands out those compliments like, you know, manhole covers, so we know that.
That's a completion. And the ball then comes out. Sane was the one who caught it for 7. McLean then hit him.
Out of the backfield, Brandon Sane, little F angle. He's the fullback on an angle. He was down, knee was down. Contact took him to the ground. Yep.
Yeah, no doubt. The knee was down, the elbow was down. That's the 7th different receiver to catch one from Rodgers. 2nd and 13. Back to Sane. And Shepard pushes him out near the 10.
Well, the inside receivers are just having their way. The slot receiver going out. This time it's a zone, so nobody is watching him. But when they're playing man-to-man coverage, they're not bumping those slot receivers, and Aaron Rodgers is getting that time and making those completions. When you play the Packers, you got to make Aaron Rodgers, I know he can, make tough, tight throws. Chuck Bresnan said they will go bump and run as much as possible against these receivers today.
Sends Cobb in motion to the right on 3rd down and 6. And another flag. This one might be against Green Bay. It is.
False start, number 78 offense. 5-yard penalty remains 3rd down.
That's the 1st-round draft pick, Derek Sherrard. And they're moving this offensive line around a little bit because of last week's performance. Sherrard coming in, playing left tackle, and moving Newhouse inside.
The next Rodgers touchdown pass will tie the Green Bay single-season record of 39, established by Brett Favre back in 1996. Trying to escape and flings it out of bounds. Pressure coming from Moss and Bryant. And for only the 4th time this year at home, Mason Crosby will attempt a field goal. He's had 18 field goal tries on the road. Here at home, they usually complete the deal.
You know, Jim, real quick, Aaron Rodgers throwing that football away. Good job by him. Eliminate the hits. That's what Mike McCarthy always says. When given the opportunity, never take a hit if you can as a quarterback.
It'll be a 34-yard field goal attempt. And stay on the hold, and Crosby's kick, well, wasn't exactly artistic, but it's good. 17-0 early 2nd quarter. 3 Green Bay possessions and 3 scores. This one a field goal from 34 yards out. Into the wind. And that's McCann. Nice piece of weaving there. The former Cowboy and Raven returns at 20 yards near the 30. A lot of mistakes here in the early stages by the Raiders, Phil.
Yeah, it really is. Carson Palmer kind of panics, throws the interception. But what really is discerning, the drop passes, but it's all the pre-snap penalties and then the missed tackles too, Jim. So it is, well, they found about every way you can mess it up. The Raiders have done it so far.
Committing already 6 penalties just 2 minutes into the 2nd quarter. Palmer with a long ball. Hayward Bay to target, and it almost caught off the rebound. First, a pick was in play by Williams, and then Hayward Bay almost was able to snag it.
Hayward Bay, bottom of the screen, just runs straight. If he just stuck a little move to the inside, Tramon Williams, maybe it would have created some separation. Really good job by Tramon Williams. It's early in the game still, but it looks like the Green Bay corners Oh, man, that's a good job, Jamal Williams. How is that for being in the perfect position to get the play, go for the interception?
And Burnett did a good job to make sure there's not going to be any deflection catch. They run it on second down with Bush for about 4. Update time. What about Tebow? What's he doing against the Bears? James Brown has the story.
Denver trying to score first.
Matt Prater attempts a 28-yard field goal, but it's blocked by the big man, Julius Peppers. The game remains scoreless.
All right, let's take it back to JN3 and Phil Simms.
Thank you, JP.
Wow, you got a nickname.
I like it.
You're going to jump over the. You're going to jump into the crowd.
RG3, JN3, PS3. Third down, and Burnett, there he is again. Swallows up the receiver, Darius Hayward-Bay, for only 2 yards.
That's what the Packers want. Keep it in front of you on third down. It's a blitz. Coming on this side, but it's just too far to go. Coming from Carson Palmer's left. There you see Sam Shields coming. But Burnett, how about that tackle? Right in the middle of the body, wrap your arms around him. Well, they were mad about the tackling last week, too.
Leckler now punting downwind. 46-yard average going into the win on a couple of punts in the first. See the difference here. Wow, why is that fielded? At the goal line, Cobb. Tripped up at the 15. Was about to take those words back if he got past that way. 17-0. That was a 64-yard punt.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Toyota. The Droid Razor by Motorola. Droid strong, razor sharp. And by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking. Get to a better state.
This artwork, incredible headwear. The creative talents of a great Packer fan, local man, Jeff Halo. Pretty amazing. Green Bay now has it at the 16, 4th possession of the day. Scored on their first 3. And they got Nelson for 14. It was a 64-yard punt by Shane Leckler, who's in record territory, averaging almost 51 yards gross per punt this year. And he's going against the guy, there he is, one of the holdovers from the last Super Bowl team, he and Janikowski. They were on the other sideline. The special teams coach, Sean Slocum of the Packers, was Leckler's position coach at Texas A&M.
Right.
Son of the legendary Aggie coach, R.C. Slocum.
R.C. Slocum, sure.
319.
Just rolling out. Has another completion out to the 35. Donald Driver for 6.
You know, I'm going to go back to what Bill Cowher said in the pregame show, how much he sit back and enjoy the Packers. He says they have it all emotionally, they're edgy. He's right. It's hard to believe it, but I'm watching a 12-0 team, defending Super Bowl champion. They're angry. They playing angry today because they didn't like the way they went last week. That's pretty tough to beat when you get talent with emotion.
And that's Grant picking up the first down. Runs it for about 7. Yeah, they're all upset. They actually had to wait till the last minute and drive it down the field in 58 seconds and win it with a Crosby field goal at the Giants.
Well, it tells you, I give Mike McCarthy tremendous credit handling this football team. He says, the one thing I do, or I am, and I've always been with this group because they're all been drafted or brought in by the Packers, is I'm really honest about their performances.
This is his 100th game. All games, regular season and post, on the sideline for the Packers. He's 65 and 34. On 1st and 10, Rodgers with another pass with plenty of zip on that one to Driver. They've got 22 more. Two catches by Driver on this series. Hurry up to the line, and Rodgers, the one for Nelson on the long ball, and he has it! Touchdown, Green Bay!
Unbelievable. When it's a penalty, Aaron Rodgers, no matter what, throws it deep down the field.
He's just tied the Favre single-season record touchdown passes in 1 year. That was number 39. There is a flag.
12 men on the field on defense. Penalties applied. Multiple plays.
Well, that hurry-up offense, Jim, that's what did it to the Raiders. They're hustling to the line of scrimmage. The Raiders couldn't even get the guys on and off the field. You know what's coming. You've already seen it today. Chuck Bresnahan, you got to be careful about substitutions. He knew that. He knew it could be a problem, and it was on that long touchdown throw.
It's the 6th home game of the year for Green Bay, and Nelson has caught a touchdown, at least one, in every home game. Crosby's extra point makes it 24-0. And the Packer Express is in full gear. Now the Packers now 24-0. And we're not even 6 minutes into the second quarter. Rodgers has hit 11 of his last 12. 2 of them going for touchdowns. McCann takes a knee. Raiders, and that hurry up on the Packers side, they didn't even know how to handle this one.
Well, here's what happens. 2 guys are coming on, 1 going off. Of course, that right away. But watch Reuben Fowler, the umpire, right in the middle. He has to try to get off the field. Or get out of the way, I should say. And then Jordy Nelson down here on the sideline. They just take off. And Aaron Rodgers, that's the 3rd time today that he's thrown the football deep on a penalty by the defense getting into neutral zone.
Knows he's got a free play. Go for the home run ball.
Yep, look at him. He knows it too. And it's instinctive. They do it in practice. They do it in the game.
Raiders on 1st down. Get 2 from Bush.
Oh, that's exciting, isn't it? Jordy Nelson giving it away. She could be hit by a defensive lineman. I don't think she'd fumble. Oh, that is awesome. What
else could you want for Christmas?
Yeah, what a connection between the fans and the players up here. You know, Jim, we talk about it all the time. We see it.
2nd down and 8. Interception. And that's Woodson, who intercepted Palmer 2 years ago in the right flat on that very same side of the field and ran it back for a touchdown.
He is an awesome 3-step drop corner, Charles Woodson. Top of the screen, he sees it, the route, and he immediately turns in to look for the interception. Hayward Bay, the sin for a receiver. Never let the defensive back cut in front of you. But Charles Woodson did this last week, almost got an interception against Eli Manning. Well, shoot, he does that every week.
And another gift to the fan base. A little spillage, but from one Heisman winner to another, that pass.
Hopefully he rubbed up enough footballs for this game.
And a few souvenirs. Might not be many left. Rodgers, meanwhile, is decked at the 32 by Tommy Kelly and others.
That's exactly what the Raiders want. A little late, but inside pass rush. Tommy Kelly, look at him staying right in front of the quarterback. Dietrich Smith, he beats. Oh, that just...
Wow, the helmet almost popped off.
Yep. Helmet to helmet there.
There's 4 possessions. And let's see what happens with number 5 off a second interception of the game.
Over. 319. 319.
And Grant now cuts back. And the momentum carries him out of bounds. Just a 1-yard gain. Back to James Brown in New York.
Don't call me late, Dan.
Oh, you're not going to be late. John Skelton, play action pass down the middle of the field. Early, due set. He's not late. Going 60 yards for a touchdown, putting Arizona up 7-6 on San Francisco.
Back to Jim Nance and Phil Simms.
Got the old Reds out today in Arizona land, and 7-6. Arizona still on that board and that wild card on the NFC side at 5-7. Rodgers, he got hit, and there's a flag down at the 5-yard line. Jennings was the target. Mitchell, who got dinged in the first quarter, comes back into the game and may have gotten flagged for this.
Tough call.
Pass interference, number 34 defense, automatic first down.
Raiders drop 8 defensive backs. The throw comes up way short. Mike Mitchell, middle of your screen. He's in good position. Tough call, really is. I don't think it's a penalty at all. He's turning, he's in perfect position. The receiver, Jennings, is fighting through him. Hard to be a defensive back right now in the NFL. But we all know the rules. You got to live with it.
First and goal at the 6. Rodgers just minutes ago tying the Favre single-season Green Bay record. Now with a chance to establish a new mark. Rodgers. And that pass is incomplete. John Henderson got a hand on it.
You know, Jim, I said to somebody this week, well, watch the pass batted down. Aaron Rodgers had what he wanted here. Going to Jermichael Finley and Henderson. Boy, a big target to try to throw around or over. But Mike McCarthy, I said he's a genius. And you know why? Because he doesn't try to be a genius. The offense, I would say by what we perceive NFL offenses to be, I find it very simple, but it's all about the execution and the talent. He doesn't get in the way of the talent. He lets them be free and go.
Second and goal, and Grant is in for another touchdown. His second of the day from 6 yards out.
Well, it's tough. So many weapons to cover in the passing game. But the Packers do not forget about the running game either. They try to get their carries in every single week, keep that offensive line aggressive. And Ryan Grant just needs a little crack, and he gets right through it.
Had not scored a touchdown all season long. Now has 2 in the first half. And we're just mid-second. And it's 31-0.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Cadillac. And by T. Rowe Price. Understanding the connections of a complex global economy. Invest with confidence.
Well, you knew this was a possibility, but I'm not sure you expected it to be this extreme this fast.
No, I didn't. And you know what? Just as we talked about, the difference probably in this Packer team today is the defense is riled up because of what everybody is saying about them, but more importantly, they know they got to cover their end of this.
Ball pops past Reese, and McCann wisely will just step out of bounds and take the touchback.
Well, good start, Aaron Rodgers, 13 of 19, 200 yards. I remember what he told us, or told me this summer. The Super Bowl, he goes, yeah, Mike McCarthy, he knew the football was coming out of my hand hot, so he let me just start throwing it down the field right away in the game.
Bush still trying to establish something. He bounced off a hit, picked up 4.
Say, if you're the Oakland Raiders here, listen, you got to just get in a huddle and yell at each other. Hugh Jackson, whatever. You just got to be tough and just try to get a first down. Slow the game down. That's what they wanted to do right from the start. And quite honestly, they had a chance to. All the penalties, drop passes, that derailed the game plan.
Second and 5. Almost dangerous throw. And very nearly into the arms of Woodson again.
Well, they try to double move to the outside to Palmer's left. And so far today, like the way the defensive backs being smarter. Charles Woodson. We talked to him on Friday, Jim, in great spirits. And how about that? Got knocked out of the game last week in the third quarter, but he looks fresh, eager, and ready to go.
As you talked about on the NFL Today, went through all the tests this week. Concussion-like syndrome symptoms. With a shovel pass, and would not pick up the first down with Reese. But Woodson cleared to play earlier in the week. He walked us through all the different tests that they went through.
There's a lot. Independent person comes in and also gives tests. He passed those.
Computer
balance
tests, yeah, balance tests, memory tests.
But he was, you know, the other thing, we talked about him coming to Green Bay. He said first, when he was first traded up here, he went, oh, I don't want to go to Green Bay. So he was a little down, but I think once he realized what was up here, the talent, and that defensive coach who gave him a special position.
Here's the fake. Leckler overthrows his target. Leckler, who had thrown a touchdown this season, had Cartwright open. And the Packers have another short field.
Well, I like the call. I really do, by Hugh Jackson. You can't be afraid. And I thought this could be something we would see today. And Shane Leckler, Jim, is a high school quarterback who can really throw the football. But it gets away from him. Cold weather.
Yep.
The grip's not as perfect. Slips out the top. Gives Green Bay great field position.
Leckler was a quarterback at East Bernard High School in Sealy, Texas, the hometown of Eric Dickerson. And he had a touchdown pass to Kevin Boss on a fake field goal against Cleveland this year. Boss's only touchdown catch came from Leckler. And Cartwright was there in the flat open. Would have been a first. Instead, from the 28.
319! 319!
Boom. Fights hard for one. It's a historic moment for the country and the president, and tonight you won't want to miss the wide-ranging interview with President Obama. To get a preview right now, simply call *60. That's *60 from your mobile phone.
How about that? First downs, time of possession. Stats can lie, can't they?
Rodgers, wide open, driver, down at the 8.
Boy, the offensive line. Aaron Rodgers never panics in the pocket. And I thought he's going to throw to Jermichael Finley there going across the field. Why do that? Wait for the wide open Donald Driver. And the movement in the pocket. Oh, look at the rotation on that football, Jim.
I know you love that.
That's unbelievable. Well, he's a cold weather thrower. I asked him many questions about it. What do you do when it's cold? The football's a little slippery. I just lighten my grip a little bit and spin it a little harder.
First and goal. Rodgers, pressure, and that should be an incompletion. It's ruled a fumble on the field, and the Raiders taken off with Wembley. Wembley down the sideline, will take it home. The challenge flag probably won't be for long. There is a flag as well, a penalty flag down.
Yeah, we had a clip by Lamar Houston. But it was a good hustle penalty that time by the Raiders.
Well, you actually, because it was a score, it's going to be verified, had to be verified anyway, so McCarthy can take the red flag out of it.
During the return, clipping. Recovering team, 15-yard penalty, first down, Oakland.
Okay, so would not be a touchdown because of the clip on Curry, but
big question is, I think he does throw it forward, has control, absolutely. Now the big thing is, Jim, did the football land in front of him or was it backward? Good view. And it's in front of him. That's going to be an incomplete pass.
Rodgers has not lost a fumble all year long. Now I think McCarthy better, he can challenge it now because it's not a touchdown because of the penalty. And he's 5 yards onto the field right now. You throw the red flag, you're going to win the review.
Yes, he can challenge and say it was a forward pass.
Green Bay may be calling a timeout right now. It really looks like the arm going forward. Curry, who decked him, who later got flagged for the clip. Actually, it was Lamar Houston who got called for the clip. Now comes the challenge.
Of a fumble.
Under the hood we go. All right, still waiting for one of the more exciting moments of the first half here.
Well, I think we had a couple good shots of it. That it's definitely going to be an incomplete pass. The arm is going forward. He never loses control of it as it goes down, and the football did go forward. I think Mike McCarthy was just trying to verify, okay, now I can challenge since it's not a score. They were going through it. But, you know, of course, the coaches have to clarify what they want. The officials are not going to come over and say, hey, Mike, you should challenge that.
Our stats man extraordinaire, Ethan Cooperson, came up with a good hypothetical.
Right.
You know, if your guys upstairs said, you're going to win it, we're going to win the review. You could have gone ahead and declined the penalty.
There's the penalty, the clip
That's
by
on Houston. So then it's a touchdown, which triggers the automatic. You got to verify whether it's a touchdown or not. You wouldn't have had to challenge in the first place.
Well, I'll just say this, Jim. You probably couldn't do that. Would be unsportsmanlike conduct, circumventing the rules. Here's where it started.
Yep, Charles Woodson in on Brady, the old
Tuck rule.
And it's Burke right here in that playoff game.
Against the Raiders
Yeah.
again. But once the arm starts to go forward, until the quarterback reloads it and gets it in position to throw, it cannot be a fumble.
Yeah, Rodgers, by the way, give you a little perspective. He's down at the other end of the field, down near the opposite end 20, ready to just go straight across into the huddle again.
What'll take so long with this, Jim, is just get the time on the clock, where the football will be, all that back. Of course, the time that ran, the clock kept running because of the return of the fumble. Let's say, too, the Green Bay.
It was Curry who came in from behind, blindsided Rodgers. He offered a hand. Aaron said, no thanks.
Didn't want it. It's really interesting, isn't it, Jim? We're talking about a team that's 12-0, and you've talked about it on its way to setting many records. But there is Bill Cowher is right. There's a little edge to him. Even Aaron Rodgers, all the great stuff he's done this year, you talk to him and he goes, yeah, and I believe him. It's not an act. He goes, yeah, it just doesn't feel special yet. You know, we did win the Super Bowl last year, so maybe it'll feel special if we happen to win the Super Bowl again.
You know, as you get late in the year, though, and you start getting into that range of chasing the 72 Dolphins, and you start, looking back at what happened to the Patriots 4 years ago, and, everybody's going to start adding all of this talk. And how you're going to handle that. We talked to the Packers about that, and they just said, hey, look, the Super Bowl took a lot of pressure off everything. That's what Aaron said. I'm aware of what it's like to try to go for back-to-back. He grew up in Chico, California as a kid, a huge 49ers fan. He remembers, idolizing the 88 and 89 stretch, back-to-back titles for his beloved 49ers at the time. And he said, it's cool to be trying to do what your idols did.
Well, too, I'll just say this. Everybody talks about the pressure. I don't know if there's pressure that goes on the players. What it is, more than anything, it's distractions. Everybody's asking you everywhere you go. All the reporters, all the attention. I mean, guys that are married, they roll over in bed in the morning and go, all right, got to go to work. And the wife goes, what do you think? Can we do it? Are we going to be undefeated? So that's what wears you out. But they handle it well up here. There's no doubt about it.
There is as you look at that little note right there, there is a New York Giant tied to that, the last Super Bowl team to go, well, 12-0, actually made it to 13-0, the Broncos, before the Giants were able to end that Broncos undefeated regular season. And it took so long here for Pete Morelli to understand there was some technical issues on the replay side.
After reviewing the play, the quarterback arm is going forward. It is a tuck. He's in it to the pass.
So incomplete as expected, and bring back Rodgers and the Packers in a 2nd and goal.
First down after this field goal from the 4-yard line.
Well, one more time just to show everybody. Arms going forward, control the football the whole time through the process, and it does land in front of the thrower. So it's not a backward pass. And now, not only that, Jim, they get an automatic first down because of the clip. So when you're hot, you're hot.
Actually, it's 1st and goal. 1st and goal from the 4. And they're going to go empty backfield. Rodgers likes this quarterback draw out of this.
I would think you wouldn't run it. Just why take the chance?
But he might get number 40. Incomplete, going for Nelson.
And he's unhappy with himself with the throw. But one thing I've noticed too, when you watch the Green Bay Packers, their passing game, they're so good at throwing and catching. He throws it low a lot on purpose. One, because he's not sure maybe what he sees, but he wants to protect the player and make sure he doesn't give the defense a chance to intercept the football.
Ryan Grant back in there. Already collecting 2 touchdowns in this first half. Rolling out Rodgers. Toss. Boom. Incomplete. 3rd and goal.
Yeah, you can't blame the fullback for that. When you make a fullback readjust his body to catch it, a lot of times that's not going to happen. There are a few in the NFL that can do it. But John Kuhn gets outside, running full speed, now to turn and make that catch. Too tough.
It seems like with every Rodgers completion, there's like a new record to document. Lost in all this, he's gone over 4,000 yards on the season in this game. First quarterback in NFL history to have his first 3 years as a starter 4,000-yard seasons. Now here he lobs it, and this is, well, Mitchell has it, but he's out of bounds. Incomplete. Finley was the target, and they wrestled for it.
Throws it high. Good job by Mitchell once again. Look at his hands in between the receiver. Oh, boy.
Yeah, this one.
He definitely had possession. Did he have it? Why his feet? Were his feet in bounds?
Here comes the flag. This will be challenged by the Raiders.
He's got it.
Well, Rodgers has only been picked off in the first 3 quarters, quarters 1, 2, and 3, once all year. That came last week.
On the field of an incomplete pass.
He got intercepted by Chase Blackburn of the Giants in the 2nd quarter. Before that, he had 28 touchdowns, no picks on the year in quarters 1, 2, and 3.
I tell you, when you watch that replay, Jim, I believe Mike Mitchell. Here it goes. He's got it now.
Yeah,
good possession. Both feet are in bounds on the ground and rolls over. That's going to be an interception. Well, I tell you, Chuck Bresnahan, he brought Mike, 2 guys that the Raider coaching staff brought up on the defensive side. Well, more than 2, but Mike Mitchell and Tyvon Branch.
Mitchell checking out his own replay.
I got it.
So this one's also back to the review booth. If it goes as an interception, it'll be the first red zone pick thrown by Aaron. And he has 24 touchdowns. No interceptions in the red zone on the year.
Well, they'll have something to be mad about now come tomorrow when they watch the tape.
Something to work on all week.
Yes, it's. I know this is hard to believe, but the Raiders, as I say this, they're doing a good job covering a lot of these receivers. You got to realize what they're up against. One, their offense can't stay on the field. They are up against the best thrower in the NFL and this offense that attacks downfield.
Now consider this. Either way, if it's a pick or it's an incompletion, here we are in December. Either way, this will be the first stretch all year where Aaron Rodgers has thrown a mere four straight incompletions. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is. Well, Jim, we talked about the talent. We know how he can throw it and all those other things. But why he can do that, it's the fact that he doesn't throw it. If he doesn't think the guy's wide open, he'll move and create an open receiver.
After reviewing the play, the Oakland defender had 2 hands on the ball, 2 feet in the end zone. It is a touchback. The ruling on the field is a touchback.
Interception and touchback. Raiders take over at the 20.
And will not be charged with timeout.
There's Rod Woodson on the right. And he joined the coaching staff this year in Oakland. Man who knew a thing or two about making picks and getting run backs. Four minutes to go in the half, and a reminder coming up, the Sprint halftime report. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher, all the scores and highlights. The 1 o'clock recaps. What's happening here in the late window. It's all coming up. Sprint halftime report. Raiders on first down. Go ground for 1. Woodson comes up to make the tackle on Bush. You talked to Woodson about how he plays all over the field. And Woodson, when he was a member of the Raiders, Rob Ryan was on the staff. And at one time they kind of tinkered with that idea of kind of doing the same thing Green Bay's allowing him to do now.
Yeah, except he said it was the Raiders. We played bump and run man to coverage on the outside. So he never got a chance to be this versatile player.
Palmer gets it away in time to Boss. And he's flattened about 2 yards short of a first. 8 seasons in Oakland with 17 picks, 37 interceptions in 6 years in Green Bay, and 9 of them run back.
But look at those numbers on this side. Give a great player unique opportunities, and you get those kind of performances.
And he's already tied Kyle Arrington now with his 7th interception of the season, most in the league. Oakland looking for its first down of the quarter on 3rd and 2, plowing ahead and getting the first. Michael Bush. Bush, who thought he might actually be a Packer. Again, he lost all this stock when he broke his leg his senior year at Louisville. And Paul Hornung, a Louisville man,
right,
Green Bay man, Notre Dame man, but of course, like you, raised in the Louisville area. I think gave Bush a little idea that maybe Green Bay might become calling.
Made sense. Green Bay one of the teams that will take a chance on an injured player and draft them later, knowing once they get well, they got a product that's got the talent that should have gone much higher in the draft.
Approaching the 2-minute warning, and Palmer steps away from the heat and now has an open lane and a first down at the 41.
Well, Charles Woodson, you got to be alert for these blitzes. 21 left of your screen. How about that move? Good job by Kevin Boss. One thing, Charles Woodson, he can do the spin moves like Dwight Freeney. Well, maybe not quite like it, but he tries.
2-minute warning here at Lambeau Field. 31-0 Packers. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Jim Nance and Phil Simms back here in Green Bay. 2-minute warning. Ball belongs to the Raiders. First down from the 41. Another short toss to Boss for 6. You know, there was a 3-game win streak for the Raiders coming into last week at Miami, and they got throttled by the Dolphins. In fact, in that one, the Raiders were down 31-0 through 3 quarters.
Well, what's really disappointing for the Raiders, I think, here today?
Palmer's 2 yards short of a first. They actually were down 34-0 before a couple of fourth-quarter touchdowns. So it's the same kind of ominous look to this team. Back-to-back road weeks for them.
Well, I think, you know, they thought they would toughen up. I thought they liked a lot of their prospects coming up here today. But you're 7-5. You're tied for the division lead. That's what's got to be extremely disappointing for this organization and, of course, the players. Playoffs are still there to be had in the AFC West.
3rd and 2 and a first down grab by Hayward Bay for 11.
Well, that's the one thing that when I watched the Raiders play the last few weeks, look at the plays in opponents' territories. My gosh, Green Bay living in Oakland territory. Carson Palmer still can throw the football to the sidelines about as well as any quarterback in the league.
It goes right back to almost the same route with Hayward Bay. Now, the Raiders in the last 2 minutes in the first half are the highest scoring team in the league. They're first, Green Bay second. They've scored 52 points this season, last 2 minutes of the second quarter. So they're accustomed to getting some business done before halftime. Palmer, Boss, and another first at the 14. And he's called a second timeout with 48 seconds to play. Again, coming up, the Sprint halftime report. JB will take you around the league with Dan Shannon Boomer and Coach Cowher. Anything capture your attention there early? Jets, they certainly won in a romp. Hey, how about the Houston Texans?
Yeah, that caught my attention. TJ Yates, how about that?
Driving them down the field in the
win the game.
Yeah, win it with seconds to go to Kevin Walter. And they lock up a postseason berth. As Yates throws for 300 yards, the kid's coming through. But you were talking about this a moment ago about, hey, you know, Oakland, you know,
yeah,
you're getting shellacked here, but that division is still open. San Diego's up right now on Buffalo 16-0 at halftime. Maybe the Chargers are going to do another one of those crazy end of the year, you know, run the table deals like that year they won 4-8 and then won 4 straight. Coming off a win against Jacksonville and again blanking Buffalo right now. Some shuffling to be done out west. Let's see what the Raiders can do in the final 48 of the first half. Palmer goes to the end zone and he's intercepted for a 3rd time. Francois is the one who comes up with the pick. Robert Francois.
You know, just to show you how things change from one week to the next. Francois, DJ Smith, they started last week inside linebackers. They had a tough game against the Giants, but both of them here today, they have rebounded. And how about that for being athletic? Tall, jumps in the air, nice hands, being in the right spot. There's no place, no matter where he throws this, it is not going to be complete to Kevin Boss.
You know, Carson had only played here one time in his career. We mentioned it a couple of times. It was 2 seasons back, week 2. That year that the Bengals won their division, and it all got started here. They had lost to a Brandon Stokely fluke play at the end of week 1 against Denver. As Grant runs it and slides for about 3. And then they came up here to beat the Packers week 2, and, you know, Palmer led them to victory. And he said, you know, this is my favorite place to play on the road. There's something about the sight lines. He said it really works for me, but hasn't been the case today.
Not today. Different defense, different team, and I'll tell you the other. He's playing for a different team. Makes it tough.
Yeah, the teams head in as the seconds come off the clock with the score at halftime. Green Bay 31 and Oakland nothing. We'll be back with James, all the guys back in the studio with the Sprint halftime report. After this message and a word from your local station, and you're watching the NFL on CBS. Grant has running room. It's Ryan Taylor. And he's got the touchdown. For Nelson on the long ball. Touchdown, Green Bay. Another touchdown. Well, 4 touchdowns in all, plus a Crosby field goal. 3 interceptions by that Packer ball hawking defense. And let's take a look at the Droid Razor play presented by Motorola. Route. No chance to defend on that one. Woody Nelson with another touchdown grab, giving him 10 on the season. There are the first half numbers.
296 total yards for the Packers. That just shows you how it's changed. I'd be like pretty proud when the game was over years ago.
It's not every week that you broadcast a 31-0 halftime game, so give me a little bit of what the agenda might be for the second half for each one of these two teams.
Well, you know, I think for the Raiders, it's start over. Let's, build and do the little things right so you can carry it over into next week's game. Like we said, even after today's loss, they got 3 more weeks, and that division is still up for grabs. So the Raiders really need to buckle down and get themselves in a better frame of mind for the last 3 games of the year.
And oh, by the way, it was Oakland who won the toss and took the football to start, so Green Bay had a chance to handle it first in the third.
It was amazing. 296 yards by the Packers. And honestly, I went, wow, there were a lot of plays they missed out there. Some short throws, maybe another touchdown pass.
Janikowski gets to step on the field for the first time as he sends it down to the 2. And Cobb on a return with Janikowski trying to cut off the angle. Janikowski just stepped aside. He has not been 100%. And Cobb with a run all the way to the Oakland side. 50-yard run back.
Janikowski limping to the sideline, but how about that? Not enough weapons on the football team. Let's go out and draft us a wide receiver returner. He went right down that sideline. Boy, and Janikowski, you see him, Jim, limping off. He's their best offensive weapon. He single-handedly has probably won a couple games for him this year.
Oh, he's had a remarkable year. There's a challenge flag out because Cobb may have been out of bounds about 20 yards back.
Oakland is challenging the ruling on the field. Oakland is challenging the runner stepped out of bounds.
No, you've had Janikowski make a 63-yarder in one game, 6 field goals in another, and 3 over 50 in another one. And this is what's being challenged by the Raiders sideline. Did Cobb step out of bounds at about the 36? And there you see, in fact, it appears that he did.
Yeah, pretty clear.
The replay system has malfunctioned. Therefore, there is no challenge and no timeout charge to Oakland. Ruling on the field will stand.
Oh, my goodness. See, this is obviously something that we've never seen before.
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen it, but what are you going to do? If you don't have the system that works, you have to go with the call on the field. Of course, it's upsetting to Hugh Jackson. That's that first shot of cold weather.
And that's an extra 17 yards because they can't overturn it.
319.
They weren't able to see the evidence because they've got issues in their booth. First and 10, and Rodgers flings it. Got his man at the 20. And that is Driver for 28.
Anytime you see Aaron Rodgers make a play-action fake and then boot to the other side and pull up, look out, it is going deep down the field. Aaron Rodgers can make the football spin and rotate so much it almost wobbles. But how about that throw? About 35 yards on a line, right to the face of Donald Driver. Jordy Nelson, going one-on-one to the left side, had a chance for a touchdown too. Some of those questions have been answered. Keep him in the pocket, it doesn't matter.
Down at the 5. Route was the one who knocked it away from Jennings.
Yeah, that's some play by Stanford Route. It is. It's, boy, how would you like to be a corner? You got to come in this game and they say to you, oh, we're going to crowd the line of scrimmage down. It's just you and the receiver. But what an adjustment. Perfect throw, but great coverage by Stanford Route. I think these Raider corners, watching them, it's like the old Raiders. When they're in bump and run coverage, I think they're pretty good. When they play off, I think they're fairly average.
2nd and 10. Jennings ducks under to the 11.
You know what? If you guess wrong on the defense of what you're going to run, there is nothing you can do to stop these type of throws. So it's a zone defense. So you got defenders outside and inside. The receiver pulls up in the middle of them. The football gets there way too quick for you to react and get there. So there's many plays. You just got to say to the Green Bay Packers offense, you win.
Well, that's, of course, the big issue there, though, was Jennings hobbling like that.
Yeah, so
maybe the biggest story, for the Packers here of this second half. Star receiver. And swinging him down at the 23. That's McLean with the sack.
Well, as you look at this Raider team, there are some bright spots. And number 55 to the right of your screen going against Ryan Grant. No, he just gets caught. Ryan Grant gets caught head up. He loops inside. Nothing Grant can do. But McLean, you can see that he is getting better as a middle linebacker, reacting faster. He's a big guy, and that was a good sack by him.
So it'll be a 38-yard field goal attempt. Crosby drills it for 3 more, and there's a flag. Kick came on 4th and 11.
Offside, number 33. Penalties decline, result of the play. Good field goal.
Jennings, his leg gets some attention on the sideline.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Radio Shack. Radio Shack has what you need to make the holidays so right. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today.
The concern here for Greg Jennings.
See the other receivers around him. Everybody's concerned.
Yes, Crosby flies that one through the end zone. And what exactly happened?
Well, Jim, not real sure. Watch him. It's the left leg. It could have been, there, that's what happens, it looks like. Watch. Lands on the back of the foot.
Now the Raiders, and their first play of the second half. It's tossed to Bush for 5.
Well, we had such a Greg Jennings. I'll never forget. He came in, talked to us on Friday, and when he was getting up to leave, we were talking about something, and you were telling him stories about your catches, and he goes, I know you won't believe this, but I'm not a stat guy. I don't pay attention. I don't care.
And you said,
I believe you.
I do believe you.
Sure, he is.
As Bush wiggling out to the 28, he's 2 yards shy of first. He's just so proud to be a part of this whole wide receiver core, Craig Jennings, and his post-magnificent numbers. Was a Pro Bowler last year and 9 touchdowns this season. I really expect him to go over 1,000 here today. But he said his receivers are a bunch of smart guys, not just running routes. We understand football.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Edgar Bennett, the old Packer running back, now the wide receiver coach, done a tremendous job with him.
Third down, Raiders. And that move picks up the first. Reese rumbles to the 40 and a gain of 12.
Nice little play by the Raiders. I see the New Orleans Saints love this play. Kind of a screen, fake it left, throw it right. Greg Jennings, you know, you try to read the body language. Of course, if you're reading it, it's not good.
Hey, come on, come on.
And the end around with Murphy. Palmer throws a block. And Murphy's near a first.
Well, try to keep this defense honest. When you are this far behind, you got to take advantage of a defense that's now just trying to make plays. You go, well, we got a big lead. We can afford to maybe take a chance. Well, this is how you slow them down. Run reverses, screen passes. Good block by Carson Palmer.
First and 10. And it's an 8-yard run by Bush. And they're taking Jennings to the locker room by cart.
Of course, you said it. That'll be the main story right now, because he is by far, in my estimation, and everybody else's, of course, and the stats bear it out, the #1 go-to guy in the passing game.
Yep.
He allows other guys to get open.
Another first down picked up by the Raiders. Straight ahead with Bush. Having Carson Palmer's day here.
Well, it's been a rough day. Some of it's Carson Palmer's fault. This pass that's picked off early, and of course, this one to Francois in the end zone. You got to put both of those on Carson Palmer. Still learning to work with these guys.
There's a good shot to Hayward Bay, who spins away down to the 4. Boy, he fired that one in there to Darius Hayward Bay, and a good piece of running by him. 34 yards.
You're right, it's a good route, and the throw is to the stomach this time. He's not even going to put it up near his face, where the defender has a chance to maybe knock it down or rape the arms.
First and goal to go. And Bush collides after a 2-yard carry. Packers send up word that it's the knee that's the concern, confirming what you suspected, and questionable that he would return. That's their word. They also report a head injury by Brandon Sane, and he will not be returning. Meanwhile, the Raiders try to put points on the board for the first time. Second and goal. Bush motions back into the backfield, takes the handoff, and he's in for the touchdown. Michael Bush from 2 yards away.
Well, good job by the Raiders. Cooper Carlisle, the right guard, does a good enough job going across, getting a piece of the defender to allow Michael Bush to go into the end zone.
And Janikowski will be in for the extra point. And, you know, you saw him gimpy after the kickoff, and the returner headed toward him. Leffler on the hold. And he pops it right through. They got a flag at the back of the end zone.
"12 players on the field. Defense. The 5-yard penalty will be added on the kickoff. Timeout."
It's almost like the Jennings injury just deflated everybody in the building.
No question.
Yep. And the Raiders drive 80 yards for a touchdown. Back here in Green Bay, Jim Nantz, Phil Simms.
Everybody's a Packer fan, even the Moon.
Every the moon. The man on the moon. Pickett's the next Packer to head to the locker room. This one the sky at the 4. Cobb in heavy traffic to the 20. All right. Back to Dairyland, back to Packerland, 34-7 in a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Charles Schwab. Let's talk about the personal attention you and your money deserve. Talk to Chuck. And by Bose, the official home audio sponsor of the NFL.
Aerial coverage is provided by MetLife. All right, let's see what the Packers are up to now. With 8:10 to go in the third quarter. That's Grant. And he's going to be set back 4 yards. Hit first by Desmond Bryant.
Well, Jim, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. Watch how he can go from one side to the other. Looks right, throws left. We see this a lot. Now he's going to look to the left. Doesn't like it. Finds a wide open touchdown throw that time. But that's what we talked about early in the game, and I talked about Mike McCarthy, the design of this offense. They repeat a lot of plays. It's fairly simple, but it lets the quarterback be very fast in his decision-making. That's why Aaron Rodgers can go from one side of the field to the other. He's run all these plays about 1,000 times each over the years.
He's got Derek Sherrod now at left tackle in for Newhouse. And the Raiders are crashing through as Desmond Bryant making another play. He beat Sherrod on that one. And another 5-yard loss.
Yeah, Sherrod number 78 on the outside. It's just the extra time. Rodgers steps up in the pocket. Sherrod has no idea that he's where he's at. That causes a sack. And I know I said it. Here we are looking at the game where it's 34-7, but the coverage has been pretty good. By Aaron Rodgers standards, 16 of 27. You know, he usually hits a higher percentage than that. So Chuck Bresnahan has a few things to be happy about when he looks at this defense.
Third down and 19. No Jordy Nelson on this series on the field for the Packers. All kinds of time for Rodgers. Wide open, and a first down is picked up by Cobb. So they call on the rookie out of Kentucky to pick up the first and pick up, in fact, 27.
Good job of protection. And that was a zone defense, so it just expands. And let's watch it. Look at the pocket for Aaron Rodgers. No pressure, and the defense, everybody's on the outside. Cobb on the inside. Big game.
And Cobb, the first player born in the 1990s to ever play in an NFL game. And what an electric start with that kick return on opening night as Grant breaks through, and Grant's down to the 46.
And we talked about Ryan Grant getting involved with this offense again, being healthy and fresh, and running with that abandonness that he did a couple years ago. But look at that, nowhere to go. Nice cutback. How about that block by T.J. Lang and Matt Giordano?
Whew. Giordano, former Rodgers teammate at Cal.
Yeah.
And he had about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 head fakes thrown at him at one time. Mitchell got hurt on that play, by the way, so he's limping to the sideline for the Raiders.
I even thought Ryan Grant got up a little gingerly after that play too. He's going back out there, but man, you know, and ever since Jennings got hurt, Jim, you can tell the crowd truly did settle down. And actually, and the Raiders, they thought, well, now this offense is going to be predictable. They were a little aggressive. They got hurt on that last play.
Kuhn up ahead. Impressive run to the 35 and a first. 12 gained on that one.
Most teams you see run this little quick give to the fullback. It's useless. It never works. Scotty Wells, 63, kicks it back, and boy, good job by Kuhn, seeing where to make the cut. They followed the halfback, Ryan Grant, who was going wide right. Nice little cutback by Kuhn.
So picking up chunks the last 3 plays. As we move inside of 5 minutes to go in the third. Another pre-snap penalty.
False start, number 62 offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You know, of all the many things that you talk about with these win streaks and records, NFL.com, by the way, you can vote for your favorite Pro Bowl player. Vote online or your mobile device, NFL.com/Pro Bowl, or text Pro Bowl at MyNFL. That's 69635. Back to this 18-game win streak. On its way to 19, which will stand alone, second alone. They're one of 7 behind the all-time record of 21 by New England. One of 7 at 18 entering today. They've never trailed in the fourth quarter. Boone again takes a pile with him for 4 yards. Imagine that. And think of the games you're going through. Last year's postseason.
Yeah, you're right. And we're talking about a league where every week you go, now how did that team beat this other team? So, yeah, when you put it in that context, you talk about the NFL, where every week there's a couple upsets, that it's amazing. The way they built this team up in Green Bay. I've told you the story. 2 years ago, I watched them in their scrimmage during the summer. Aaron Rodgers threw it every down.
Second and 10 and batted down by Henderson. That's the second time he's done that. Well, here are the numbers. Again, the largest deficit was at Atlanta. That was down 14-0 early, went on to win by 11. Never trailed in the fourth. In that postseason I mentioned last year, that became only the second team other than Coach Cowher's Pittsburgh Steelers to come out of that 6th spot, win all those games on the road, go on and win the Super Bowl. Jordy Nelson's in now for the Packers. They face a 3rd and 10 in the slot to the left.
Snap count by Aaron Rodgers that made the defense declare.
Well, they got a flag down. He's got him a bunch of times. Lofting it to Finley, and it's out of bounds. How many times has he gotten him with that today?
You know, Jim, the answer is way too many.
Offside, number 90, defense, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
So we bring Mike McCarthy into a production meeting, and we start asking him some questions about Aaron Rodgers, which of course he fields every single day by the media. And he just said, hey, I don't have the vocabulary.
It's done, I'm over.
I'm out of words.
He's really good. You know, and so I went back and I said, when he was not playing, could you see the talent even then? That's what I was really anxious to learn from him. He goes, his answer was unequivocally yes. I saw it in the workout when he was in college. Best one I ever witnessed.
3rd and 6. Nelson turns around and it's incomplete.
More good coverage down the field by these Raider corners. But how about that? The best workout I've ever witnessed, you know, where he was there in person. So he knew it. And sat behind one of the greatest throwers, if not the greatest thrower of all time, Brett Favre. When his time came, he showed everybody. I thought right away he just showed his skill was tremendous right away when he took over 3-4 years ago.
It's his 3rd full year as the starter. And again, today went over 4,000 yards, first in history. That 4,000-yard seasons as Crosby from 49 is pure again. Crosby 3 for 3 today. Mastay gets it down cleanly, and the Packers post 3 more. Green Bay with a pair of Crosby field goals in the quarter. Take the lead back to 30. McCann backpedals. He doesn't want to deal with it, nor should he. Saturday, CBS Sports NCAA Hoops brings you some action. 2 scoops of hoops is what they say, right?
I got you. Because I was always playing with it going, yeah, 2 hoops of scoops this week.
Here you go. Just for you. Butler battles the Boilermakers. Then Memphis visits Louisville or Gonzaga and Arizona.
You know, really, this is the truth. I am starting to wear on you, so this is great. After all these years, I've
been told that by my friends, family.
You changed.
It's Reese. And they'll give him 3 yards with that. They keep talking about how the Raiders are going to have to regroup after this game. You know, let's face it. You know, they came into this tied today with Denver out west. Next up, Detroit. Detroit held on. They had a big lead early against Minnesota. Won today. Go to 8-5. Then at Kansas City.
Well,
and then San Diego the last week. And the Chargers are right back in this thing.
Yeah, of course, it's 3 hard games. Shoot, well, you hear me say it. It's hard to win 1 in this league.
Then underneath, ball's out. Palmer falls on it. No, he did not recover it. Picked up by the Packers, and they have a touchdown. Eric Walden with the recovery and the score. And the Raiders are going to say, wait a minute, did Reese, when he make a move, did he have the catch?
Well,
or the hold up as a fumble?
Yeah, live it looked like it. Yeah, he's got it. He's got it. He makes a couple moves. And this is going to make the Packers happy because it's hustle, good position, make the tackle, make the hit.
And by the way, they've notified us that their challenge system is back up and operating again. But no flag. And of course, you would have to review a scoring play anyway, so you don't need to throw a flag. It's automatic that it has to be verified.
Well, they're trying to verify that it is a score. And where I would say there could be some doubt is going to be Carson Palmer. Does he get control of the football, have possession?
The previous play.
Francois is the one who knocked it out.
Oh, no, Carson Palmer never got it.
I thought their only chance for the Raiders was, did Reese ever have what was considered a full catch, the football move?
I did it many times. The running, the football's on the ground. It is truly unbelievable how to fall on it. And Reese definitely has possession of it, Jim.
You talking about your own fumbles or somebody else's?
Well, they were probably mine. I wasn't shy about throwing a thing out there. But let's look at, really again, Francois, he has really shown up today.
Francois with an interception and a forced fumble.
And then look at the guys hustling after it. Eric Walden from the other side.
Walden would become the 19th different Packer to score a touchdown, which is by far the most touchdown makers by any team.
Carson Palmer trying to recover it. Goes right up his arms and out.
Yeah, Tramon Williams was on him and helped that ball slip out again. And it would be, if it holds up here, if it's verified, a team record 57th touchdown on the season.
Wow, team record in the 13th game.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We talk about it as we watch the pass one more time. The athletes, the effort in the NFL, it's greater than ever. And the numbers that the offenses continue to put up are, I think, well, the defense is going to catch up.
The play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a touchdown.
Confirmed touchdown.
I think what I'm saying is, Jim, the really good offenses in the NFL, they just don't have bad weeks, which is what really I keep waiting. Well, the Packers can't do this every week. Well, they keep doing it. New England can't score 30 every. Well, they do it.
Green Bay, by the way, including this one, 3 of the last 4 at home. Extra point is blocked.
Well, he's dead.
Jerome Boyd ended up with the football. Play is dead. Extra point negated by the Raiders. They have a team record touchdowns. They now have also set a new team record for points scored. Look, hurtling right over the top.
Desmond Bryant. How about that?
Crosby, before that one, well, he had been 55 of 55 on the season in extra points. It's the third block of the year by the Raiders special teams. They got a block punt, block field goal, and a block now extra point on the year. Here's Coach McCarthy on the right. Gives us a time for an update. What about Arizona and San Francisco? Back to James Brown.
49ers have won the last 5 against Arizona, but
And a 6-play, 78-yard drive. John Skelton, 3-yard touchdown pass to Andre Roberts, putting Arizona up 21-19.
10-13 left in regulation. Back to Jim Nantz and Phil Simms.
Wow, good one going there. As the 49ers have that second best record right now in the NFC. Palmer able to get away from it. And incomplete. Murphy was out. 43 points, and we're still in the third quarter. Got to go back to 1981. November of 81. The last time Oakland gave up 50 points in a game. It was against Dan Fouts and the Chargers. Dan threw for 6 touchdowns. 5 of them were to Kellen Winslow.
Charlie Joyner, Brooks 21, right? I mean, it's what a
James
group.
Brooks.
What a group to throw to.
Entering today a span of 472 games since Oakland led up 50 in a game. Not there yet. Got another update. James Brown has a story in New York.
San Diego scoring prolifically.
11 plays, 77-yard drive. Phillip Rivers' 3rd touchdown pass on the day. 26 yards to Patrick Creighton. 37-10 San Diego.
Back captain, 11 plays, 77-yard drive. Jim and Phil.
All right, things getting interesting with the Chargers. They're going to go to 6 and 7 today. And there you see the marks. And barring a little more Tebow magic, and that's always a possibility. They've just gotten in for the first time. You know, the Raiders and the Broncos would lead the Chargers by only a game out west. And now the Raiders will call on Leckler to punt. Shane Leckler averaging almost 51 yards a punt on the season. Got to go back to Sandy Ball, 1940. This was into a stiff breeze. This is something you seldom see out of Leckler. All right, what about the Tebow story? What is the latest on that, James Brown?
Will there be a new chapter, Dan?
It's Tebow time. 7-play drive, 63 yards. He scrambles up here. 10-yard touchdown pass to Demarius Thompson. 10-7 Chicago.
That's to Demarius Thomas indeed. 2:08 left in regulation. Jim and Phil.
All right, guys, no timeouts left in that one for the Broncos. So big onside kick they must recover. They got a new quarterback coming in, Matt Flynn, for the Packers.
Last time the Broncos in that situation, they recovered it.
So from the 41.
Green 19. Green 19.
Rodgers' day complete, you would expect, as Flynn throws incomplete. In the area of Jordy Nelson. Well, Aaron Rodgers, sum up his day for us, Phil.
Well, pretty good day by Aaron Rodgers. I know by his standards, he's not going to be really happy with it because they did not separate from some of the tight coverage the Raiders gave him down the field. But when the opportunity was there and he had the protection, he just showed why they're such a prolific offense.
Kuhn. And he had Richard Seymour on him quickly, but he still just drove ahead for 3.
Now, Jim, you see the backup quarterback, Matt Flynn, coming in. Now, of course, to get into the third quarter is incredible in the NFL. But we talk about the undefeated season so much. Everybody, all the pregame shows, that's all you hear all week long. Well, what happened here today with Greg Jennings will have a tremendous impact going forward on how the Green Bay Packers address that situation. You never know. You lose one player, we don't know how, if he's out or whatever, but that will be in Coach Mike McCarthy's mind for the next couple of weeks for sure.
3rd and 5. Flynn slips, then gets balanced and throws it incomplete. Groves was in on Flynn.
Passer, number 52.
Oh, and the flag is down. Flag is going to be thrown on Groves.
Good eyes, couldn't see it because it fell right on the yellow. Quentin Groves drives the quarterback, wrapped his arms around him, and drove him into the turf, and that is a penalty. And it's, you know, I know how he feels. I feel bad for him. I do. You and I talk about it, Jim. You see some of these penalties in the secondary, hitting the quarterback, some of the hits, it's tough.
Michael Huff, meanwhile, is also wobbly getting up. So the penalty spots the football at the 22. And Kuhn is to the 17 after a 3-yard gain. Saturday, the CBS Sports Spectacular explores and celebrates the history, struggles, sacrifices, and triumphs of African Americans in pro football from 1946 on 3rd and Long. That's next Saturday at 1 o'clock on the CBS Sports Spectacular. By the way, the Bears have recovered that onside kick out of Denver. 2 minutes to go, and Denver has no timeout, so Bears may be on the way to, you would think, winning that one. Boom.
One thing's going to happen in this game, the Green Bay Packers getting all these carries with the running backs, but this helps your offensive line. Keeps them aggressive, gives them confidence.
It's going to run out the time in the 3rd quarter. 43-7 Packers. Back after this message and a word from your local station. Here it is, quarter by quarter, and a 31-0 halftime bulge. Is now.
Meet me under the mistletoe, Mr. Rogers.
Okay. Matt Flynn at quarterback to start the 4th quarter with a 3rd and 2. At the Oakland 13, that's maybe a backward pass. As Grant takes a tumble, thanks to McLean. And Crosby's getting a little of activity here. He's going to try his 4th field goal. Mastay, the punter. This will be the 8th time he's been out here to hold a kick today. Has not had the punt in the game. So the question: do you shower after that?
Well, the good thing is he's not getting paid by the attempt.
Okay.
So
33 yards. Good back to Mastay, and the kick is delivered by Crosby. 46-7 in the first minute of the 4th quarter at Lambeau. So somebody wanted Mr. Rogers under the mistletoe, and now
Clay, will you marry me?
holiday spirit in the air. One hopper to McCann, backtracking and paying for it. Just a 4-yard return. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. The game between the Packers and the Raiders. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms here. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately after the game, except on the West Coast, where it'll be seen at its regularly scheduled time. Lambeau Field, where the Packers jumped on the Raiders early and haven't let up. It's Bush stiff arming. Picking up this matchup between the participants in Super Bowl II, where Bart Starr won the MVP for the second consecutive year. Won at Super Bowls I and II.
Well, Michael Bush, that was a good game by him, and he told us, what did he tell us yesterday? He plays fantasy football. Jim says, who's your running back?
Yeah, they had to ask.
Yeah, of course, it's me.
Yep. Got a first down. In Super Bowl II, Don Chandler, like Crosby today, had 4 field goals. That's Starr to Dowler for the touchdown. Darryl LaMonica, the Mad Bomber, number 3, to Bill Miller for a touchdown. Closed the gap to 13-7, but Green Bay goes on to win it 33-14. That was the last game ever coached by Vince Lombardi for the Packers.
Well, last time we were up here for their game, we saw Boyd Dowler breakfast.
Yeah,
that's right.
It was a thrill.
He's a big man. You don't realize how tall he is until you see him in person.
Satelli is hurt. By the way, the Broncos have gotten the ball back against Chicago, because on one of the plays where you think the Bears would run it out, they got pushed out of bounds and stopped the clock. So always interesting things happening. We're going to be out in Denver next week for New England and the Broncos. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting too. You know, the New England defense again struggled mightily in that game against the Washington Redskins.
The Patriots end up winning it to go to 10-3 on the year. Gronkowski with another huge performance. And now Palmer wearing the LaMonica number. To Bush. We've got the update on the Tebow story, and here we go to New York.
The Tebow story. He drives his team in the field goal range, Dan.
Oh, it's Tebow time, and Matt Prater, field goal, 59 yards, and it's good to tie the game at 10.
Tebow was 3 for 5, 39 yards on the drive. And we are now going to OT. Back to Jim and Phil.
I have to say, my partner called it. And that pass is incomplete. At 10-0 with 4 minutes to go, you said, you watch.
Now, if you're telling me the truth, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but if the Chicago Bears ran out of bounds,
what I read off the transcript.
Well, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to say you deserve to lose, but you can't make those kind of mistakes. Especially the way you're playing with a backup quarterback and all that. But hey, you make a mistake, it's up to the other team to take advantage of it too.
21.
Overtime out there, and a timeout here by the Raiders with 12:43 to play.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sprint. All football, no limits, only from Sprint. Applebee's. Head into Applebee's today for new sizzling entrees. Fresh flavor never sounded so good. And by the Ford F-150, available with the efficiency and power of EcoBoost.
Well, the brats up here, that's part of the deal. I don't know how many you've consumed so far, but I've seen a couple come your way.
No. Darius Hayward Bay going in. But no, I'm not going to lie, I had one.
Okay. Got to have one.
Yeah, it's a tradition.
3rd and 5. And well defended. Pepra colliding with Murphy, who is still down.
Well, it was a blitz by the Packers defense. Carson Palmer has to get rid of it quick. Louis Murphy not able to protect himself.
Now Leckler. A boomer that hits at the 6. Side bounce, never. Oh! Did it touch the end line? I think they're inches away in play. That is remarkable. 71 yards. McCann downs it. Another head shaker for Leckler. Look at this. Back, and the Packers are just inches outside the end zone. They actually spot it closer to the one. It was a 71-yard punt by Leckler. Go up the middle for no gain with Kuhn. I mentioned that 3 of the last 4, including this one for Green Bay, home games. They put this 12-0 together with 7 of them coming on the road before today at Kansas City, and then they'll play Christmas night against Chicago and January 1 Detroit. They'll have played this year on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day, and maybe Super Bowl Sunday.
Well, that's right, maybe, but there's going to be a lot of discussion going forward about this Green Bay team. After today, of course, 13-0.
Yeah, where do you go with that, and how do you handle it? We talked to McCarthy about it. You know, what are you going to do if once you start locking everything up? You already had the division coming in. You're going to have a home game now as of today.
Right.
When you get that 1 seed, what are you going to do when you get to that last week and you've got maybe Detroit coming in here fighting for a wild card?
Well, I think, Jim, you have to wait till the situation comes up before you can definitively say what you're going to do. And there's many circumstances. Mike McCarthy has more information than anybody else. He'll make the decision that he thinks, of course, is best for his football team.
3rd and 5. Here they come, and it's a safety. It's McLean that comes in and drops Flynn for the 2.
Yeah, right up the middle, a blitz. And looks like it could be a blown assignment. Doesn't look, well, it must be Ryan Grant's has the middle linebacker, but hard for him to get around the quarterback to get in position to do it. That's what happens when you're underneath the center and you get those inside blitzes. The running back cannot help you in blitz pickup.
McLean's 2nd sack of the day, which matches his season total coming in. And put 2 points on the board for the Raiders with 11 minutes to go. Matt Flynn, who will be a free agent at the end of the season, and he played exceptionally well when he started last year at New England.
Right.
That was the last game Packers lost, and it was a nail-biter up at Gillette Stadium. Flynn almost leading the victory.
You know, you think back, you always got to be fortunate, I think, to have playoff runs. The Packers had to have that miracle finish by the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Giants that gave them a chance to run the table at the end of the year and get to the playoffs.
So Nesta, fly ball, gets the boot one, and the Raiders ran past it. And Cartwright has it at the 23. It was actually, that game against New England, 357 days ago. The last time the Packers lost. Back and forth they went. Hernandez scoring that touchdown. That was the last play of the game right there. The Patriots won at 31-27.
You know, a lot of...
Now this is, again, just virtually every graphic you put up has some sort of record attached to it. So 19 puts them 2nd alone. They break out of that 7-way tie for the 2nd longest streak ever. That even includes the 33-34 Bears and Papa Hallis's team. 9-yard pass play to Bush. So the Patriots all-time record, 2 games in sight. They could tie it on Christmas, and they could surpass it on New Year's Day if, you know, they win out.
I'm like Mike McCarthy. I'm out of words. What else do you say about it? It's spectacular. And they're going to answer a few questions. I know the Raiders are not clicking on all cylinders on the offensive side.
And that's Reese spinning ahead for about 4.
Been a good performance by this Green Bay defense here today. Tackled well, hustled.
Green time!
Like to welcome the audience joining us, watching Buffalo and San Diego. Chargers winning a second straight game. That's Bush of the Raiders. Out to the 41, a thumping here put on by the Packers.
Mike 49.
Second down and 4, and Bush, he's got a first down. We got an update. James Brown in New York.
Denver, boy, is it going their way, Dan?
Well, the Bears are in field goal range, and Marion Barber runs through the middle, but then he fumbles, and Denver's Alvis Dumerville picks up the fumble. Denver driving in overtime.
We'll keep you updated, Jim and Phil.
Marion Barber fumbling as the Bears had won the toss and were in field goal range. Weaver Bay coming back out. It's this funny thing, though. It's happening out there. It just affects everybody.
Oh, well, yeah. You know, the Raiders are going to get on the plane, and if the Denver Broncos win the game out there, they're going to go, oh, my gosh, how'd they win?
Easy. Weak Honda. Green time!
Cartwright's in the backfield for the Raiders. He's got a gap off that right side for 6. Arizona has taken down the 49ers today. So Green Bay at 13-0 with this win. And they're the Saints on top of their division at 10-3. Cowboys and Giants tangling tonight. Second down, pass play incomplete. Murphy wanted a flag when Woodson doesn't get it. Inside the NFL coming your way Wednesday night. More than 30 years, the must-see show that the pros watch. There they are, Warren, JB, Chris, and Phil. Wednesday showtime, don't miss it. By the way, with San Francisco losing in a 3-game lead, 3 games to play, Green Bay has not officially clinched the #1 seed yet. 3rd and 5 for Oakland. And coming in is Zombo. What a play by the second-year man out of Central Michigan.
It is. They're not just going to sit back here and let the Raiders march up and down the field. Again, 2 guys coming from Carson Palmer's left on the blitz, Zombo and Sam Shields.
Zombo's been battling injuries all year long. That was an impressive play. 7-yard sack.
49.
4th down and 12. And that's a catch by Murphy. Her hands in there, but he fought for it. Picks up 17 in the first.
Nice throw by Carson Palmer right down the middle of the field. Zombo has him and he goes vertical, but a nice cut across. That going straight across the field is just enough to create a little separation for Louis Murphy.
And a flag down the line of scrimmage.
Timeout, Green Bay, first team timeout.
No timeout called by Green Bay with 6:24 remaining.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go. And by the Philips Norelco Senso Touch 3D. A great shave, dry or wet, with gel or foam.
We're back with the Raiders on the field. Raiders offense, that is, at the 25. And a first down. Palmer looking for options. Plants the feet. And a flag is thrown. Completes the pass to David Osbury.
Probably going to be illegal touching.
Illegal touching of a forward pass, number 86 offense. Player went out of bounds, came back inbounds.
All right, we've got the update on the Broncos. Here we go, James Brown.
Jim and Phil, you know what happened in Denver.
Do you believe? Because I do. Matt Prater, 51 yards in overtime. Denver wins 13-10.
Oh, my goodness. So that victory, Saints have clinched a playoff berth with that Chicago loss. Back to Jim and Phil.
All right, guys, that was 10-0 Chicago with about 4 minutes to go. Tebow drives them down the field, 10-7. Then you think Chicago's running out of the clock. Barker runs out of bounds, otherwise they'd have had to what? Did you figure 8 seconds left?
You know, if you want to be counted, 10 seconds.
Murphy tiptoeing around, and he's out of bounds at the 7. But Prater hits a 59-yarder to tie it in regulation, 51 to win it. And next week, New England at Denver in your national doubleheader game.
Well, I think I'm going to go out on a limb here. It will not be 13-10 next week.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think there might be a few more points on the board, but I know one thing. That's going to be one of the all-time hard
it's
tickets
gonna
to
be
get
incredible.
Denver. Yep. Raiders first and goal. And Bush has about a yard. So here's the lineup next week. The doubleheader day begins with regional action, and then at 4:15, most of you will see New England and Denver going to 80% of the country. Jets, Philadelphia, Cleveland, Arizona to other parts. All beginning at noon Eastern with the NFL Today presented by Southwest Airlines. 2 divisional leaders. Brady and Tebow next week on CBS. Second and goal, and Palmer. The boss, touchdown, Oakland.
Well, what a nice job by Carson Palmer, just staying in the pocket, not panicking. The defense covers the crossers going right and left, nobody to throw it to, and finally Kevin Boss releases from his blocking assignment. There's a touchdown out of it.
Janikowski. And that's now 16 for the day for the Raiders. Boss's second touchdown of the year. Caught one from Leckler, now one from Palmer. Early headlines, the Texans are headed to the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. Yates drives him down, and Bob McNair's team gets to taste the postseason. Patriots outlast the Redskins. Gronkowski sets the tight end touchdown record for a single season. And the Jets romped past the Chiefs today. But the Jets, by the way, as you look at the AFC playoff picture, Charlie Casserly from our NFL Today is reporting that Jim Leonard, injured while making an interception, a knee injury, is going to be lost for the remainder of the year, the starting safety for the Jets.
Well, that's a big deal for the Jets because their safeties in charge of helping everybody line up and who to cover, and of course we all know a very complex defense. Well, the Raiders, like last week, getting some late points.
Well, that Denver win, really costly for the likes of San Diego. And then you got the Raiders who don't play them again.
And costly against the Raiders because they don't win many tiebreakers. If they even happen to end up tied.
Go ahead and kick it away. Flynn will come out to the 20. Here's the lineup tonight on CBS. begins with 60 Minutes and President Obama. That'll be followed by the season finale of The Amazing Race, plus all new The Good Wife. CSI Miami tonight, only CBS. America's #1 network. Getting a heavy workout here in the second half, and it's 3 yards to his total, 9 carries for 38. Here are the current NFC playoff standings, if you will. What do you see here that sticks out? New Orleans, as JB mentioned, is in the playoffs by virtue of the Chicago loss that guaranteed the Saints.
What sticks out? Tonight's game, Giants and Cowboys, and the fact that the Arizona Cardinals, I am so impressed. They go into games, they're like the 49ers, the Denver Broncos. They go in there and just beat you ugly.
And they, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
You look at the Arizona Cardinals, and the guy that's catching my attention, their defensive coordinator, Ray Horton, from the Pittsburgh Steelers. What they're doing, they play hard.
Coach Ken Wisenhunt's team now 6-7.
And you know, hey, they're doing it too. Their quarterback, Kevin Cobb, been out. John Skelton played again today. It's
second down and 12. Flynn on the sideline, out of bounds. Jones in the area. Well, the biggest concern coming out of this for the Packers will be the reports once this game's over on Greg Jennings. All they've told us so far, knee injury, nothing more than that, but he was sitting in a cart, taken to the locker room, grimacing on the sideline for quite a while in considerable pain, it appeared.
Santelli, the center, coming back. Yeah, when you score 46 points in an NFL game, hard to do. You said it though, Jim. The story's going to be Greg Jennings.
That's Kuhn out to the 26. It'll be third and it'll be 4th and 4 coming up. That was an 8-yard run. It's a good time to be buying stock in the Green Bay Packers about right now, wouldn't you say?
I think it's always a good time to be doing that.
Of course, the only publicly owned franchise in professional sports. Back in 1922, some local organizers moved to cancel a $2,500 debt of Packers founder Curly Lambeau. Became a nonprofit corporation way back when in the 20s. Mass Day. By the way, they had their 5th offering on Tuesday of this week. There's the original stock. There's what 5 shares look like right there. 5 shares on the right. Certificate number 31. One of the originals. $5 each. You wondering about the new one? There you go. So Tuesday they put another 250,000 shares offered to the public. There's an owner.
There he is. He's an owner, no question.
They thought it would take them till the end of February to perhaps sell them out.
Right.
At $250 a piece for 1 share. That was on Tuesday. By Thursday, they had sold 188,000 of the 250,000. Palmer able to ditch it to Cartwright, tripped up at the 41 by Burnett.
I'm going to say this. You know what I'm going to do tomorrow morning, don't you?
You're going online?
I'm going to go online and buy me a share.
Wait a minute. Can you call the games and be an NFL owner?
Sure.
Oh, you can. All right.
You're an owner. You can do anything.
All right.
I'm going to get me a share.
I don't know about that now. Yeah.
Hey, that's
Next time we do a Green Bay game, we'll be in the booth or on the sideline.
I'm part owner. I'm coming to the sideline, second guess the coach. Well, I do that already.
Oh, yeah. What's the difference? First down out to the 50. Right.
Oh, man, come dressed up for the game. I always tell people this, they don't believe me. You can start these kickoffs in NFL games now, and everybody gets to their seat about 30 seconds before kickoff. The stadium, when the Packers came out for warm-ups, it was 80% full.
Absolutely. They love their warm-ups. They love just sitting there watching everything that takes place. A good hour before the game. 2-minute warning at Lambeau. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Coming out of the 2-minute warning with the Raiders, the football at the 50. Now to drop to 7-6 on the season. So Green Bay 2 wins from equaling the Patriots' all-time record of 21 consecutive victories. 3 wins away from a 16-0 regular season and 6 victories away from perfection. And you've seen a good reason why all that's very possible here today.
Well, you know, I think everybody, there's no question about how the offensive part of their football team. But I think we saw today when the defense just corrects a few little errors, they were definitely motivated and embarrassed how they played last week. We saw what they can do too. So I think that might be the most important thing besides Greg Jennings leaving this game that I take away from it.
Palmer hit when he threw it, was intercepted. It was a wobbler because he was hit when he threw it, and Shields has the interception.
Well, it's Green Bay defense still continue to try to go after the quarterback, and that's what you're going to do. If they're going to try to score, just don't sit back and let them get what they want. That's Zombo with the hit, causes the flutter ball.
Might have been Jones, too.
Yeah, it is Jones.
That ties for Carson the most interceptions ever thrown in a game in his professional career, his 4th. And the Packers will take to the victory formation. And tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes with the interview with President Obama coming up, followed by the season finale of The Amazing Race. The all-new Good Wife and CSI Miami tonight only on CBS. Well, Palmer and the Raiders will hope to have the full arsenal back for the last 3 games of the season with Ford and Moore and especially McFadden maybe all coming back next week for the Detroit game. The executive producers of the NFL on CBS, Sean McManus and Harold Bryant, and coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS. And producer of this game is LWB, Lance Barrow. Today's game is directed by Mike Arnold. The senior producer of CBS Sports and the NFL Today is Eric Mann. The director of the NFL Today, Bob Matina. Coordinating producer of CBS Sports, Steve Karasik. And the associate directors of today's game, Corey Fishman and Andy Friedman. Broadcast associates, Eric Spitzer and Drew Simon. Technical manager, Pete Callander. Technical director, Jonas Einstein. Audio supervisor, Ed Soltis. Kevin McHale handling things up here in the booth. And Tommy Spencer, our editorial consultant. Tom Borstein downstairs on stats. And a happy birthday to you, Tom, and Big Ethan Cooperson. So a 46-16 shellacking. 13-0 it is. Partner, I will see you next week in the Mile High City.
That's right.
Tim and Tom.
Tim and Tom, yes. Going to be exciting.
Or is it Timmy and Tommy?
Either way.
Okay, I'll see you there. 46-16 Green Bay, the victor. Coming up next, 60 Minutes, followed by Amazing Race, The Good Wife, CSI Miami. Phil Simms, Jim Nantz, so long from Green Bay. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.